Hey guys, welcome and gals. Welcome back to another episode of Cozy Couch Conversation. As always, I'm Zaven. I really appreciate you guys for taking some time out this Wednesday evening to chat with me. Today, we have a very, very special guest. I think I say that every week because every guest is special. You're special too. But this week, we have someone that is genuinely a pillar of the Orlando community, the Orlando food scene, the social scene. You probably know him. You've probably been nourished by his great, great eats after a great night out. Today, we have none other than King Maxtros himself.
Oh man, you're too kind. Too kind.
Nah, bro, you're kind. Yo, welcome, bro.
I
Welcome.
appreciate it. Thank you for having me. This is different for me, but I'm excited.
Yeah, no, I'm
It's
I'm
cool.
excited as well. I'm actually nervous. It's funny, the past couple of individuals that I've had here, I have like a long-term relationship with them.
Mhm.
I've known them for a long time, so it felt really natural.
Right.
You're the first person that we have on the platform that we know each other,
I
but
know you, but
we don't know each other.
we
dude.
don't. I don't know you like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It's okay though. We're gonna get to it.
For
We're
sure,
gonna
man.
get to
So
know each
how
other.
you feeling today, bro?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling really excited for everything going on right now with the truck and just also thinking about service later.
Yeah. Man. So after this, you got to get right to it.
Yes, chef.
Uh,
Absolutely.
yes, chef.
We open at 8. So
Okay,
I'm
okay.
a,
I'll make sure you're in and out. No problem, brother.
I'm gonna be good. I can get there by like 9.
By
I'll
like
get there
9.
by like
Okay,
9.
okay. I'll have you out long before that. I promise. Anything new in Max Stroh's world?
Man, recently somewhat new. We got the second truck now. So that's been
Nice.
a big exciting thing going on this year, and just trying to, kind of figure out how to keep up with all of it now. Got the second truck so that we can start to branch out a little bit more. And then a couple new things on the menu. I've been getting back in the kitchen. Got a winter menu rolling out.
Okay.
There's gonna be some fun stuff on there. Kind of bring some new things and some new flavors that I've been wanting to implement, and really start to kind of show people, hey, we can do more than just a cheeseburger too. Like
For
it's
sure.
always kind of been the goal. So excited for some of the new menu stuff coming.
I'm excited as well because I know I'm gonna be there to taste it
Yes,
all.
chef. Yeah.
Awesome. So just some insight for those of you who may or may not know. So Max is the owner of Maxtros. You might have seen the food truck. Now he has a second one as well around. I know most of, I would say, if not like all of my peers, I'm sure we've had Maxtros at some point. We've met Max. We've
Appreciate y'all.
in some form we've fallen in love with Max, whether it's the food, the personality, the personability, just being courteous as an excellent individual. So what I want to ask you, man, what does the Orlando community mean to you? Like, you really genuinely, you are a pillar of the community, not to be said lightly, because you're a business owner in the city, but you're also an age peer. You're
Yeah.
from the city as well.
Hmm.
What does this community mean to you?
It's one, thank you for even saying that. It's crazy to like I don't look at myself in that way of like a pillar in the community, but it's amazing to see that it's been received as such, like that the business has come to a point where people look at it as like a real thing. It's like I kind of told you earlier, it's still this like little infant idea in my head because I know where I want it to be
Right.
eventually. So it's like, to me, I don't give it that much, and I appreciate that. It's cool to be here. I love Orlando. This is home. This is where I grew up. Even though I started the business out in California, the goal was to always bring it back home eventually, and it happened a lot differently than I saw it going down, and we'll touch on that, I'm sure. It happened in a much different way than I ever could have anticipated,
Yeah.
but now we're here, and it's amazing to be able to be a part of the growth that I'm watching happen in Orlando. And that's something that's huge for me, is bringing it back home to my hometown and where I grew up.
So
Um,
did you, if you don't mind me asking, of course I'm going to ask, but you mentioned that you're from Orlando. You're currently
28.
28 years of
28
age.
years old.
Nice,
Yep.
nice.
Almost unk.
Almost
Almost
Yo,
unk.
I got
Damn
folks calling
near.
me Unc already. I just
I'm
turned
already unk, apparently, according
okay.
to
A matter of
according
fact,
to.
Zayden, who we just had on a couple weeks ago, he's calling me Unc. I'm like, bro, please stop.
It's crazy,
I'm
bro.
literally, I just turned 29. But
Bro,
you're from Orlando. For those other Orlandoians, if that's the word, we're gonna coin that. We'll figure it out.
yeah.
Which side of Orlando did you grow up on? Like, where'd you go to school at?
West Orlando, the best Orlando.
Okay.
We from the I know you.
I'm a South Orlando.
I know you a South Side guy,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the West Side. I grew up Ocoee, like right off Silver Star, Clark Road, Ocoee, Winter Garden, Pine Hills, Hiawassee, Good Homes,
For sure.
Silver Star.
What year did you
all of
graduate?
that.
High school?
I went to Ocoee and I graduated 2015.
2015. Okay, so 2015 Max, right?
Yep.
If you had to like rewind all the way back, what was he thinking? Like, what did he think was gonna be the next step for his life leaving Ocoee?
Man, 2015 Max was fully locked in on production, creative production, arts, music, graphic design, video, photography.
A whole different lane.
Yeah, a whole different lane. That that's kind of a side of me that not a lot of people know. At least the newer people that I've met in the past few years through the food side. But for those who really know me, like I've been involved in the Orlando creative scene for a long time. From shooting videos, putting together events, things like that. And a lot of the kind of like Orlando OGs that I see now that have gone on to do great things with their art and everything like that. We all kind of came up at the same time together. We were 15, 16 years old, just trying to put our creativity on display. And that's kind of where it all started for me was with the camera and with just my love for art and music as a whole. I think that's where 2015 Max was convinced, probably the rest of his life was gonna be centered around, and that's what I was working towards at the time. If you had told me then if you had told me if you had told me 10 years ago that I would be making burgers on a food truck and loving it
and loving it
every step of the way, I'd tell you to go fuck yourself. respectfully
Sure.
I'd be like,
it's funny.
What?
It's funny you said the Orlando OGs and you are an Orlando OG.
Yeah, I guess damn, I am.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, especially
that's,
with
that's
that,
right back to that unk thing.
that
Here
unk
we
status,
are.
right? But it's honestly, it's cool to be stamped. I like the unk status because I remember back in
Season.
It's like a season, right?
Yeah,
It's like
little
I think back to like being an older teen right before 20, where let's say you go play basketball, right? It's
Yeah.
totally unrelated. Like let's say you go play basketball somewhere,
and you looking up to the
and you see the OGs
the
out there.
college.
That's unk.
Yeah, that's
I got unk
unk.
on my team. Unk's on my
Yeah,
team.
I want unk. Unk
but-
could dunk.
But it's respect. But it's a respectful, endearing type of an unk. I'm not
Right.
calling you like some old frail guy. I
Yeah.
respect you.
No, it's a veteran.
You
It's a
OG.
veteran. You put your time in.
So, what do you think if that was so heavy on your mind when you were 18, going out into the world? What happened, or what switch flipped that made you go from okay, production is going to be my life into culinary?
Boy, so that's a 10-year journey that kind of like I never really would have seen it going the way it did, but now in retrospect I see why it happened the way it did, because through going through all of the various, I've had a lot of different hustles, I've had a lot of different avenues of exploring creativity and trying to find my thing, so to speak. And I think a lot of it just progressed through, it's all various forms of art, right? And I've always found myself to be infatuated with art, and considered myself an artist in different mediums. And I think food is the one that really over time just clicked for me the most, and it took me going through these other avenues kind of stumble upon that and stumble upon that love for it. So, you know, from just cooking for friends and, you know, cooking for artists that I used to work for, you know, I would cook
Mm,
dinner after we'd finish shooting. You know, we'd go shoot some videos, we'd be out for
that's
the
crazy.
day,
That's actually insane.
and instead of going out to dinner, you know, I'm with rappers or artists that they taking us out to nice dinners, and I'm watching them blow money on like food that's all right at best. It's like, yeah, it's cool, but like
Right.
I could have done something nice at the house for a lot less,
A lot less.
you know. And I think that's really where it started to be a transition, was like um cooking for people and seeing the genuine like joy they got out of it, of like, oh wow, like this is good, like, you know, like I started to see people would tell me more and more like, yo, like you should do something with this food thing. Like,
Mm.
you know, for me it was always just fun. Like it was always just a hobby. Like I just enjoy, you know, taking care of people. That's my love language. That's how I show love, is, you know, hospitality, making sure that people are good, treating others how you want to be treated, you know, the golden rule. So I think through that, you know, food for me was always just a means of expression and a means of like showing my care or concern for people, of like, you know, that's literally the nourishment you're putting in your body. That's your
Right.
fuel for the day. So it's you know, it's one of the most important things I feel like someone can give another person.
So let me ask you something. And hopefully this isn't like putting you out there in any
Hmm.
type of way, but I do have to ask. You and I discussed this pre the actual cameras lights on, right? We're just chatting
Right.
it up. Um, we can both agree Orlando is a huge melting pot of
Yes.
cuisine and of culture, right?
Absolutely.
And that's from the mom and pop locations to the large, expensive, extravagant spots, right?
Hmm.
And I know you are typically cooking or around cooking most days. So I don't
Yeah.
know, do you get an opportunity to go out to these restaurants or to spots? Do you get a chance to move around and try new places?
Not as much as I'd like to. Is something that I'm trying to make a point of. You know, even with like the team or with myself, like something I've talked about wanting to implement and do is just like, you know, even if it's once a month where we all, you know, a couple of us from the team all go try a new spot, or, you know, I have a list in my phone that's like 60, 70 places long of just like,
There's a reason I ask. It's because so those of us that you're like your food's amazing. Doesn't
thank
matter
you,
if
chef.
it's the burgers, the fries, the mac, the salmon bites, on and on. It doesn't matter. The flavor profile
Yes,
is
chef.
intense,
Thank you.
right?
Thank
No,
you, chef.
thank you.
Thank you,
It's an
chef. Thank you,
experience every
chef.
time, right? But we can compare that. So I'm outside of Alfie's.
Hmm.
I'm saying I'm a little tipsy, a little drunk, and you're there to save the night, right? As opposed to me going to one of these brand new expensive restaurants with this amazing ambiance and
Right.
oh my god, it's so nice, and then you get your plate of food and it's severely
It's
underwhelming,
underwhelming. It's
severely.
underwhelming.
So I was just curious if you've had the opportunity to go around to some places, and I would say it's usually the bigger chains.
Yes.
Any of the small business, I don't like to call it small business, that's just a category it's in,
Yeah,
but
no,
any of
absolutely.
like the family run mom and pop type of
Yeah.
spots, it never fails.
No, there's love.
It
There's
never
love in it.
fails.
That's the difference. And I've definitely noticed that in you know, I do consider myself a, I hate the term foodie, but I do consider myself a foodie, God, to an extent.
Cringe.
But it you know, I do love to eat. I do love to try new things. Like
Mhm.
I challenge myself to get out there more and try different places, try different dishes, get new inspiration, you know, try something I've never had before. That's all a big part of the creative process for me. And through that, I also see not only what I want to do, but what I don't want to do in my
Mm.
business. You know, I'll give you a prime example of, um, you know, like you said, these big expensive chains. I remember very vividly going to, not trying to call anybody out, but Eddie V's. I went
Oh,
to Eddie V's, and you know, the Eddie V's is the, you know, it's the bougie, it's the steakhouse, it's the seafood, it's this, you know, prestigious restaurant that has this, you know, they have accolades, and they have, you know,
there's
weight.
prestige about
Yeah, they
them.
have this prestige behind their name. They have
Yeah.
weight behind their name. You know what Eddie V's is. You know what Ruth Chris is. You know, like they're synonymous with good food and
Right.
in a elegant experience, right? And it was my mom's birthday, I want to say, and it was a four top of us, just a small party, me, my mom, my dad, my aunt. And you know, I remember like being almost blown away at the not that the service wasn't good. You know, server was attentive to an extent, you know, nothing really special. Food was okay. You know, a big thing for me is I am a little bit pickier with how I eat out now
Of course.
because my rule of thumb is like I do not hesitate to spend money on food. I won't buy myself new socks, but I will buy new food. I will go try some new food or
So you'll go to the restaurant barefoot.
not quite barefoot. I ain't gonna say barefoot, but like I don't spend a lot on myself, but I will not hesitate to spend on some
Some
food
good
as
eats.
long as my rule of thumb is if I couldn't make it better myself at home. You know what I'm saying? So I'll go try something and I'll be like, you know, this was good, but I think I could have, you know, it needed a little of this or it needed a little of that, or I
Okay.
would have maybe taken this approach. So
So
I love finding places where I couldn't have made it myself. That's what
have
inspires
you
me.
found any places like that in Orlando?
Yes, I have.
Ooh, plug them.
I have.
Plug them in.
I'm gonna go number one with Kappa at the Four Seasons.
Okay.
Incredible restaurant. Beautiful.
Is that the one that's on the golf course?
I believe so. It overlooks the golf. It's like a roof. It's not a rooftop, but
Okay, I haven't
it's
been to
up.
that one because they also have one that's on the golf course. I've been there for brunch,
Hmm.
but the one you're talking about, I think, because they have like a Michelin.
It's a Michelin. It's a
Yeah.
one
Okay.
star.
Okay.
It's a one star. And a friend of mine that I knew back in the day, he actually used to be one of the chefs there.
Yeah.
And he invited me by one day, and I did a tasting there, and it was incredible. Like
Yeah.
every dish was a journey. Every
sure.
dish was something completely different than the last one, but they all still worked together. It was all still cohesive. The service didn't miss a beat. I sat in there and I was inspired. I was like, wow, this is, you know, how I would want to run a restaurant. This is like what I want. The feelings I'm getting right now are what I would want someone to get if they sat down and tried my food for the first time.
For sure.
Of wow, like this is different. This is nice.
For
This
sure.
is cool.
Okay. So one thing that you mentioned to us a moment ago was that you had an opportunity back when you were in production, right?
Mhm.
Just to take a step back, where you're filming for these artists and all these people, and then instead of going out to some expensive dinner, you're cooking for them,
Mhm.
right? How did you get into this environment? Because I know at some point you left for Orlando.
Yeah.
So can you kind of take us through that post Orlando life that kind of led you into where you're at now and back into Orlando?
Right. Okay. Yeah. That that is a very elaborate question that I'm gonna
Take
try
it,
to
take a step. Let's take it step by step, okay?
I'm gonna try to answer it as concisely
I
as
heard,
possible.
I heard,
Yeah.
I heard.
Word
And
on the street is
word in the woods.
word in word in word in the
Word
woods.
in the woods. Is you ended up going out to LA,
Mm-hmm.
right? Production based
Mm-hmm.
journey. That was the goal.
Yep.
You got into food,
Mm-hmm.
and there was some major event that brought you back here, back home.
Yes. Yes.
Can you kind of give us some insight into what that situation was like?
Yeah. Yeah, so to sum it up, I left to LA when I was 19 on a whim with not really any idea of where I was headed, where I was going. I got an opportunity. Um, I got an opportunity to go film for an artist. Um, and
Can you name that artist? Is that allowed?
yeah, it was so this was keep in mind this was like peak like SoundCloud era. So this was, you know, this was Ski Mask, XXX Tentacion, this was Danny Towers, shout out Danny. When they were all coming up.
Mm.
And so those were like the guys I was, you know, they used to record at a studio like right here in Kissimmee, and you know I would shoot photos, shoot videos, things like that. And this is before anybody knew like what was about to happen. This was when it was still like your homie who raps in high school. That's
Right,
like,
right.
but they were doing stuff, you know, they were getting shows and things like that. So this was in that time, and I remember very distinctly, like, sitting in class. I was in school for production. I was going to Valencia,
Okay.
and I was like 2 months into school. And mind you, at this point, I'm already recording videos. I'm already getting paid to shoot. Not that I'm making much, but I'm just happy to be there. You
Mm.
know, I'm shooting videos for a flight and a hotel room, and some food and some weed. Like, I'm just happy to be out there. I'm just happy to get the experience, shoot the videos, etc. Um, but I already had my business somewhat established here in Orlando, and I was shooting a lot of stuff here, which is how I got this opportunity in the first place. Um, and I remember sitting there in class, and we were, I was trying to give the program time because I'm impatient and I want to get my hands on the camera. I don't want to talk about the history of the camera. I don't want to talk about lenses and numbers and aperture. I know all that. Like, let me make something.
Right.
I'm very hands on. So I'm trying to give it a chance. I'm giving the whole school thing a chance. And I remember the very distinct moment where I was zoned out in class. The professor's droning on and on. I'm in class editing a video for a client live. And everybody around me is just kind of like disinterested. They're all looking through this textbook. We're talking about the history of the camera. Now, if you turn to page so and such, we're going to go over the invention of the camera and blah, blah, blah. And my phone lit up. I got a text from my boy who was he was the artist manager at the time, and he's like, "Yo, I need you to fly out tomorrow, 5 a.m.
Mm.
Can Denver? Can you make it shake?"
Mm.
I was like, "Bro, I got homework. Like, I got finals. I work at Chick-fil-A at the time. Like, I got work in the morning. Like, but in that moment, I remember looking around and like seeing all my peers and my classmates, and I'm like, bro, every single kid in this room right now, if they care about production and film and videography as much as I do, these kids would all kill to get this text right now.
100%.
Every single person would do a backflip to get the message that I just got. So I I went for it. I
Hell yeah.
I sent it out to Denver, and literally packed my bags. I went home, told my mom. She thought I was crazy. She's like, "You're going what? With who? Where?" Like, I'm still like 18, 19 at the
Right,
time.
right, right. I was like, my baby.
Right. So she's like, "You're going with a bunch of rappers to Denver? Like, what are you talking about? Like, are they paying you?" I'm like, yeah, sure. Don't worry about it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
they're paying me real good, mom. Like, they're paying me real good. They're like, "Well, don't you have class?" And I'm like, yeah. Like, we'll get back to that. I'll
Right.
I'll be all right. I'm ahead on my homework. Whatever. I was only supposed to be gone a couple days. And bro, I went, and it was just, that was the catalyst. That trip right there was the catalyst that when it was time to come home, went, had an amazing time. We shot. It was a great show. And I remember we were like getting ready to come back to Orlando, and the tour manager was like booking the flights. Um, and I went out of my way. I looked at the flights to LA. I had only been to LA like twice before this, and I loved it. I was like, this is where I need to be. Like, something was like pulling me towards Los Angeles. And you know, I remember asking him, I'm like, "Yo, the flight back to Orlando is like 200, but I got this flight right here to LA for $70.
Oh yeah.
Like, you want to just book me that?" He's like, "What you about to do in LA?" I'm like, "Bro, I don't know,
Mm.
but I have all my camera stuff. I'm already this far west. I already missed school for a few days. I probably already lost my job. So, like,
Send it.
something tells me I need to be in LA right now. I just feel it. I couldn't explain it, but I just needed to go." And so I went with 3 days worth of clothes, my skateboard, all my camera gear, had my Pelican case, everything. And what happened upon arrival is a whole nother story that, for time's
So
sake, I
let's
won't
yeah, let's
I won't
okay.
get into.
So far we're what, 18, 19?
Yeah, 18, 19.
So 18, 19 max. We're working at Chick-fil-A. We're in film school at
Yeah.
Valencia here in Orlando, staying at home with mom.
Yep.
You get a call. hey, I need you to fly out. You fly out and you decide on a whim, I'm not going home.
I'm not going back.
I'm not coming back.
I'm not going
It's
back.
over. Right now, the decision's been made. I'm going to LA. I don't know what I'm going to do in LA. I don't know who's in LA, but I'm going to make something shake.
I'm going to go.
Well, let's pause it really quickly because I know there's a much more elaborate,
Yeah.
But your family,
Mhm.
what kind of role did mom and the family play at that young age, right? Because I know you mentioned that you were in school for production. That was an
Mhm.
interest. Did that stem from like seeing mom do it, uncle do it, or how
Mm,
did they impact the path that you were on?
I think honestly, that was kind of something I found on my own to an extent. My mom was like, she was into photography when she was a kid. Like, I still have her old film camera, her old Canon AE1. Like, that was one of the first cameras I ever learned to shoot with. And but aside from that, I think that's maybe what sparked my interest in it. And like my mom was also, she used to be, before the market crash and everything, she was in real estate. So she had one of those old like digital cameras that you had to put the floppy disk in.
That's fire.
Like, I'm dating myself here, but
Yeah.
like literally like an old JVC. I remember it like so vividly because I played with it so much. Um, and I would always want to go with her. I was always stuck with her. Like when I wasn't in school, I was stuck with her riding around doing her real estate stuff. So I became her photographer. Like I would
Easy.
be shooting the pictures for her. So when I look at it, like there were subtle little things. Like same thing with the cooking. Like it's not like my mom was a master chef and I just wanted to study in her footsteps and follow. Or she was a master photographer, and my dad was in the industry or anything. But there were just subtle little like bits of my childhood that definitely played a role in that. And also at the time I think as a kid I was really into like the outdoors. I used to play outside all the time. I was into skating and building tree houses and playing in the woods and
For
doing
sure.
stuff like that. So I think the video stuff came from a place of wanting to like document just my my
Just
time
life,
with my
just a journey.
friends. Yeah, just life. Skate videos were a huge thing at the time, like that
Would you
was.
say that your mother was one of the biggest, influences over the decisions that you made, or what kind of went into young Max, but then also even current Max?
I think, yeah, I think my mom and my dad both definitely played a heavy part. It's weird cuz like I feel like as a kid, as a young child, I was very close with my parents. And then like when I kind of like started coming of age and like that high school to like college era, I got really distant. Like we got really distant to the point where like I feel like our relationship wasn't good at all
Wow.
during like my teenage years. Like I was rebelling, I was smoking weed, I was a bad kid.
A typical a
I
typical
was a good
teenager.
kid. Let me not say that I was a bad
You were a
kid,
typical teenager,
but
it
I was
sounds
a
like.
teenager. I was figuring it out, and I think I kind of like pushed in an opposite direction. I think in a way it was an influence, but by not the typical um context that you would think of it as,
Right.
of
Like
like,
you mentioned earlier, like your mom did this, dad did this, I got to do this too.
yeah, like it wasn't like that, more so of like mom did this, dad did that. I want nothing to do
No
with that.
parts.
So I'm gonna go do this.
For
And it
sure.
was almost like my dad still to this day calls me the prodigal son. Like, and we joke about it and we laugh because I made it back home. I came back after going to the crazy land and
So let's go back to the crazy land, right? So now
yeah.
we got a little bit of insight into what got you into the production. We got a little bit of insight into mom's influence a little bit. So take us back. We're in LA.
Hmm.
We just left Denver. We got two pair of socks and a pair of underwear in our
Yep.
suitcase
If we're
and a whole
lucky,
bunch of camera equipment. We
Vans got holes in them.
we touched down we touched down in LA, right? Where does this transition happen? What was the most like impactful thing that happened while you're in LA that shaped what we see today?
Man, I gotta give a special shout out to. I mean, there's a lot of people that were involved in that, but I think the main spark, what really like solidified things for me of like, wow, this was not a coincidence. Like I was meant to be here. Like what are the odds? My boy Tyler Yahweh, he's an artist from here in Orlando.
For sure.
He was out in LA at the time, and fun fact, like he was one of the first artists that I ever worked with. I was just interning for a director that I really looked up to, that I've always looked up to, Nas. So he was shooting a lot of videos here in Orlando, and I got the opportunity to like help him out on set with one of Tyler's videos. It was I can't even remember when it was, but I had met him here in Orlando and knew him in passing from that. I was just the intern kid who helped with the video.
Right.
I didn't really know him like that, but through time we had kind of like seen each other more and more here in the scene in Orlando. I'd see him at shows. And we built a friendship. And so it's my first day in LA. I got no plan. I got, like we said, the socks, the drawers, the Vans with the holes, the skateboard, the entire camera setup. I got the Pelican case and everything. I looked crazy in the airport. I looked homeless. I was homeless. So I had no idea where I was headed. And I remember when I was previously in LA, one of the places that I had gone to and that I really enjoyed was Melrose. And this is all before COVID, and the city was way different. So I had gone to Melrose, and I remember like the first time I was on Melrose, I saw celebrities and I saw artists, and it was like that shell shock of like that first time I'm in Hollywood, like wow, like and at the time I was like 16, 17, so it was crazy to me. And that was to an extent my knowledge of LA. I was like,
that's everyone's like general.
Yeah, that was
Hollywood
my
stars.
Right. Yeah. I'm like, so when I got there and I'm like, now what? I'm like, I'm gonna go to Melrose and see what happens. I got my camera on me. I'm gonna maybe go to some businesses, see if anybody needs, there's Melrose, for people who aren't familiar with it, is like kind of like the fashion district. So there's a lot of clothing stores, underground brands, a lot of streetwear, fashion, things like that. So I was like, hey, maybe, somebody will let me shoot some photos for them, or, I can, just go show my work to someone and see what I can get. Let's see what happens. That was where I associated in my mind the best chance of running into something.
Right.
So I didn't want to just wander the streets of LA with no plan. So I had a little bit of a plan. I'm like, all right, let's go over to Melrose. And so I went over. Mind you, I had like $130 to my name, like
in LA.
In LA,
that's like $13.20.
Yeah, that's nothing. I'm wilding out at this point. It's like that Dave Chappelle skit where he got the girl on the date, and he's got the counter of his pockets keep going down. Everything he does, she wants to get the hot dog. He's like, maybe not. Like,
maybe, I don't know. Just no ketchup,
no ketchup. Yeah. So I'm like, I get my Uber. I'm probably down to like $90 now.
Off of just one Uber.
Yeah, right. So I'm over here on Melrose, and I'm just skating around, bro. I'm literally just skating up and down. I'm taking some B-roll of because I had started like filming a little like personal thing, like a personal vlog of my trip to LA. And I'll never forget, bro. Remember earlier I was saying like I felt something pulling me like towards the city. I don't know what it was, and I'm not a believer in coincidence or chance. Like everything really happens for a reason.
Clearly.
So yeah, and I remember skating down the sidewalk. Mind you, we're in Los Angeles, California. The odds of me running into anyone I know are very slim. As someone who just got there, I don't even know anybody here. It's my first day. This is literally my first day out here. I get to a crosswalk. I'm sitting there skating. I'm listening to music. I got my camera on me. I get to the crosswalk. I look up across the street, and I see Tyler. I see my boy, Tyler Yahweh. I'm like, and we kind of like do one of these like across the street. I'm like, hold on. I know that's not who I think it is. And sure enough, like, bro, we literally like, we almost caused the accident. We came running to the middle of the street.
With the traffic going?
Yeah, no, we waited. But
stop, everybody stop.
Bro, we like ran across the street. We give him a big old hug. I'm like, yo, what's up, bro? He's like, nigga, what you doing here? And I'm like, nigga, what you doing here? Like, like, when did I just got here? He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, bro, like, I literally just got here. Like, I was just at the show in Denver, blah, 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 because he knew, like, all the same people, all the same artists. And I'm like, bro, I was just in Denver, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just came out here. He's like, you just popped out here? And I'm like, yeah, bro. Like, I literally have no plan. Like, I felt like I needed to come out here, and here I am. Like,
Yeah.
he's like, bro, like, I live out here now. Like, bro, I live with my girl. Like, I got a manager now. Like, I'm working on music, like this and that. He's like, so you're not doing nothing, right? I'm like, nah. He's like, bro, like, come on, let's ride. Like, come on, I'm about to go to one of my
Easy.
sponsors. I'm about to go to this store, Brooklyn Projects. They sponsor me, whatever. I'm gonna go skate over there and like try on some clothes. You want to come? I'm like, hell yeah, like,
Duh.
let's do it.
That's what I'm
Let's
here
do
for.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it. So literally, like, boom, hit the ground, run into him. We start running up and down Melrose. We're in the store. He's trying on clothes. I'm meeting people already. I'm like, yo, like, you want to shoot a video? Like, I'm like, we here. You got your skateboard. Like, we're at the skate park. Like you trying to, like, you got any tracks you want to shoot like a little burner for or something?
Mm.
He's like, shit. Like, let's listen to some music. So we start listening to some songs. Boom, this the one. We're like, all right, like, we could shoot this on the fly right now. Like, we don't need nothing. Like, we can just freestyle this video. Boom, we shot the video right there on the spot. He's like, now the sun's starting to go down. Mind you, I still don't know exactly what I'm doing. I'm like, I might be staying at my friends. I
Might be on the block.
might be on the block.
I
Like,
don't know.
might go find a little motel if I can.
Life of an artist.
Right. I have no idea what's about to happen. He's like, yo, like, why don't you come back to the house? Like, we can look at the footage and everything, blah, blah, blah. Like, I want to introduce you to my girl, introduce you to my manager, whatever. So we get to the house. They got a whole, like, editing suite, computer, because they're artists, so they got their whole recording setup and everything. I'm like, yo, can I, like, you mind if I put Premiere on your computer real quick, like, so I can kind of look at the footage? Next thing you know, I'm like full on in it editing the video. I like stemmed out on it and just just landed. I'm on this creative high. I'm coming off of a show. I'm now in LA. I just ran into my boy. I'm so fired up right now. So I banged out the whole video.
Inspirational.
Yeah, bro, I banged out the whole video right there, and in like 3 or 4 hours.
Mhm.
And he's like, yo, like, this is good. He gets his girl. He's like, yo, babe, like, come check this out. She's an artist too. He's like, yo, like, this is pretty fire. Like, he's like, you still got it. I was like, yes, sir. Like, he gets his manager over. His manager had come over for dinner or something. He's like, yo, like, this is my boy Max. Like, he just came from Orlando. Or he knows me as Zach. He's like, this is my boy Zach.
Oh yeah, real quick.
We didn't even.
Your real name, yo.
All right.
Spoiler
alert.
This is the unveiling, because I know for a fact,
Y'all-
99% of y'all
Fun fact.
that know Max
I don't know me for real.
You don't know him,
Y'all
and you
don't know
have
me like
no idea what his actual name is.
It's very Caucasian. I'm getting every job interview for sure. Zachary Maxwell.
Zachary.
Can I get Zachary Maxwell to the front, please? Zachary Maxwell. So hence why I go by Max, because over time it just slowly, there's always another Zach. There's always, everywhere I've gone my whole life,
full of Zachs. Yeah.
there's always another Zach, especially in school. There's like 10 Zachs in my class.
But
like,
there's only
one Maxwell.
There's only one Zachary Maxwell.
There's only one Zachary Maxwell too. But
Fact.
the Max thing just came from Maxwell. It got shortened to Maxwell. Sports and stuff in high school, middle school, whatever, everybody calls each other their last name. Then it started being Maxi Pad, Maximilian. They
Maximus.
had any Maximus.
Yeah.
And then over time, it's funny, my dad, all his old friends call him Max, and I never got it. My dad's name's Bill. Like, my dad's name is William. Bill. I'm like, why they call you Max? And I never got it. And now I'm here, like, years later. I'm like, oh, I see how that ended up. Now I'm Max too. Now I'm Lil Max.
Maxwell, Zachary. But don't pull up on this, man.
Don't pulling out the government.
Do not do that.
I'm a PTSD. Like, I'm in trouble for my mama. The only people call me Zach, my mother, and my very dear friends when I'm in trouble, when I'm doing some dumb stuff.
For sure, for sure. Okay, so we got Mr.
All right.
Zachary Maxwell.
Yeah.
We're in LA. We linked up with Tyler. We're on a crazy high right now.
Yeah.
How do we get into food? Where, like, because it sounds like you're on the trajectory that you were looking to go to.
Yep.
You were from here to Denver to LA, shooting videos on Melrose in a nice crib, cutting it up. And how do we factor food and cuisine and chefing it up into all that?
So the food thing started to come into play. So, you know, through my time in LA, like, again, shout out to Tyler. That whole interaction really changed the whole trajectory of everything for me. And like, he introduced me to a ton of amazing people, ton of artists. Tyler and Sexton, if y'all ever see this, love you guys. Y'all really made a way for a young bull.
For sure.
And it opened up a lot of doors to where, you know, and I was working with a lot of artists on my own as well, to the point where I remember one of my friends, Mo, he's an artist that would always come out from Texas, and so he would come in town and he would do these like week or two stays. He'd get a big Airbnb, he'd bring his camp, they would get studio time, we would shoot content, and you know, he would just take his LA trips, and it was something that became a regular thing for me, that I would always be working with him. And so I remember, like, over time, like I said earlier when we were chopping it up, he'd want to go to all these nice restaurants and steakhouses. We're going to Nobu, we're going to Maxtros, which we'll touch on that. That's another fun fact of where the name came from. We would go to all these nice dinners, and I would feel bad. Like, you know, I was enjoying it, I loved it, but like, bro, I don't come from bread. I'm over here like eating ramen noodles and struggling to exist in LA. I'm living off street tacos and crackers, peanut butter crackers. And so I was grateful for it anytime Mo was in town, because I'm like, hey, we eating good. Like,
Yeah.
he would take care of me so much. Like, he would always bless me. And but I remember, this is now, we're getting towards COVID, where LA started to shut down. Everything was in shambles. So I started to spend a lot of my free time, because I had a lot of free time, cooking in the house, because there was no way to get sat at a restaurant. You couldn't even, bro. You couldn't
So
go.
you're still in LA. So you just didn't go home.
Yeah, no.
I'm just thinking about this. I'm like, yo, your mom, you told your mother, like, yeah, I'm gonna be back, don't worry, and you just never came back.
I came back. I came back. The first 3 years in LA were a lot of like back and forth, where I'd be in LA for 3-4 months at a time. I'd come home for a week or two.
Okay.
And then I'd go back out, and I was still getting myself established. I still didn't have my own, you know, place. I was still, you know, couch hopping, couch surfing. I was homeless in LA for the first 2.5-3 years.
Wow.
You know, I didn't have my own spot.
Wow.
I slept everywhere, from friends' couches to rental cars to the street at times.
Really?
To like, I saw a little bit of everything there. I slept in mansions, and I slept in Skid Row, damn near. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like, it was a very drastic
It's a
spectrum.
fluctuation
Yes,
going on there.
very drastic spectrum, because, you know, I could go from working for a rapper one day and I'm in a mansion in Beverly Hills, to then go sleep in a rental car that is parked under a bridge somewhere, you know. Like,
Word.
it was a crazy, like, it was a crazy coming of age and like realization of like the way the world works, to an extent.
So from that, but as time goes on, we move into the COVID time, and now
I'm cooking.
You're
Now
cooking.
I got my own spot.
You got a spot. Okay.
I got a spot.
Progression.
And we're glazing over a lot, but I'm trying to keep it concise, because the story is hours long. But we're cooking, we're trying new things, we're burning a lot of stuff. My neighbors probably hate me. My fire alarm is going off every other day, because I'm just learning, you know.
So you didn't actually know how to cook?
No, I didn't, bro. I tell everyone all the time, my culinary experience is Chick-fil-A, Domino's, Jimmy John's, and I was a busser at Texas Roadhouse. And I worked at Honey Baked Ham. I worked at Honey Baked Ham too, which was crazy in retrospect.
Yeah.
But I do not come from the traditional like culinary background. I did not, I'm not born for this. I wasn't born
Just
with
burning stuff and
Yeah.
hoping
I
hoping
was
you figure
just,
it out.
bro. It was a lot of trial and error, a lot of burnt steaks, and a lot of overdone, underdone, and just experimentation. Because I always loved science as a kid. Like science was always been fascinating to me. I've always been a bit of a nerd when it came to school, and science is just food is just science and art applied together, and those are two things I love. It's science and art combined, and you get food, you get culinary. So
At what age? So we're burning the crap out of stuff.
yeah.
We're undercooking it, overcooking it, and then at what age or what point did we get a food truck? Like how do we go from the mansions to the streets to back and forth to burning to I have a food truck now?
So that came into the mix when about 6 months into burning stuff, stuff started coming out good. I was like, all right, the food's getting better, and I would, I'd have friends over, and that was always my favorite thing to do. Just like, have some friends over, cook something for everybody, and just share a meal with everyone. That's my love language. That's how I show my care for people is let me cook a plate for you. Like, just come over, we'll have a good time, we'll drink some beers, and have dinner, and y'all are my guinea pigs. I'm figuring out the food thing. And I remember it was always like a silly little like thing in my head when I was a kid. Me and my mom would go to a little food truck meetup when food trucks first started like becoming a thing, or more popular when I was in like middle school, I want to say. And at the time, I know I'm really skinny, but I ate so much. Like I would eat all day, always hungry. Like, and I told my mom like I would joke with her all the time, like, I'm gonna have a food truck one day so I can
Wow.
just eat. Like, so I can just, I was like, I don't even want it as a business. Like, I just want to be able to eat my own food
Oh
all the
wow.
time. Like,
You
just,
had no idea what would become.
yeah, I had no clue.
Yeah.
And so I think the food truck really came into play. There's a whole nother part of the story that I haven't really touched on, which I don't know how into it I can get.
Um,
But
let's say because you and I discussed this a little bit beforehand, so I
yeah,
have an idea of what happens next. And I unfortunately like I would love to sit here and do this for 5 hours
I
straight.
know. We
Um,
got it.
give me this, right? So we've seen the progression from young Max, the production, this is where I want to be, this is my direction, to the spontaneous movement of going to Denver, to going to LA, to linking up with Tyler Yahweh, which actually I met Tyler Yahweh down here one time. Funny enough, just a quick side story. Me and Corey, we were out downtown one night, maybe like 3 or 4 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know the smoke shop that's downtown next
Yeah.
to Celine, right? So Corey and I are standing in front of it. And Corey's like, yo, I'm gonna go in and just grab something. So we go in, Tyler's in there, chopping it up with the shop guy, wearing just like some slides, some shorts with like a hoodie on.
Yeah.
And so Corey and I walk in, end up talking to Tyler for like 30, 45 minutes, like just chatting it up. He gives us his number. He's like, hey, I'm going to an after party. Hit me up if you guys want to go. We ended up not going to the after party,
Mm-hmm.
but this is actually crazy how I'm tying this back in really quickly, and then we'll get back to this. So then, like a week later, me and Lewis, my boy Lewis, we were out one night. Matter of fact, with Zayden. Wow, life is crazy. Zayden came out
Full
with me and
circle.
Lewis one night, right? Like a Tuesday. It was one of the most lit Tuesdays of life ever. We're going
Love
back to the
those.
car, and we run into this group of lovely girls,
Mhm.
right? And we start chopping it up with them. So, just kind of like flexing a little bit, maybe more than I should have at the time. I got Tyler's number. I just got it a few days
Yeah,
ago.
that's my boy.
I'm telling the girls, I don't know how we get to this.
Going to this rapper's after party.
You feel me? I don't know how we got to, but I mentioned Tyler, and they're like, no way, you don't know him. So I'm like,
I got his phone number right here.
Yo,
I'll call him right now.
I did. So
Did
listen.
he pick up?
Yes. So listen.
My nigga.
It's the middle of the night, right? and I'm FaceTiming him at like 2 in the morning in a
Mm.
parking lot just to prove that I met him. And I don't even, I'm not a fanboy by any stretch.
Yeah.
I don't subscribe to that, right?
Yeah.
Yo, he answers the FaceTime. I think he's probably in a club somewhere himself, like probably in like LA.
Mm-hmm.
He's wearing these shades. He looks up at the phone. I go, yo, Tyler, I'm with some girls. Yo, I show him. He goes, he laughs, does this, hangs up the phone. And then actually shortly thereafter, I'm pretty sure he changed his number because I tried to text him again to get in the studio with him, and it was green. So I was like, okay, either I'm blocked or he changed his number. But do you know who one of the girls was?
Who?
Daniela, who was on Love Island.
No way.
Yo, life is crazy. Like
Full
I met her
circle.
and it was her sister's birthday. They were there with their friends, and I'm just, out with the boys. It just brought back a memory to me. I'm like, man, it's crazy. Like the world's a crazy place.
Small world, bro.
Like,
we're all like one person removed from one. Have you ever seen that? How you can tie anybody in the world together through like 5 or 6 people, I think it is.
Clearly. Like we're talking about myself, Louis Zayden, you, Tyler Yahweh, and then Daniela.
We all have somebody in common.
Which, just throwing this out there, Daniela, I would definitely love to have you on the show one day. Okay.
Hey, if you see this,
hopefully you will. But okay. So you're in LA. I'm sorry to cut you off there.
No, you're good.
It just totally came to my brain. So we're moving closer into the truck.
How the truck came to be.
How the truck came to be, and then what became of the truck.
So I think the truck really came to be out of it really, like, to be completely honest, started as a side project. It started as a fun idea of like, hey, I've been working my ass off. I'm finally starting to, stack some bread for the first time in my life. I'm finally like seeing real money for the first time in my life. I had started an edible brand in LA, which is ironically, still the food thing, but like that's kind of that whole other side of the story that I'm not going to get into right now.
Off camera.
Yeah. We'll get into that.
For sure.
So, for the first time in my life, I'm like, okay, like I'm not just like the broke kid from Ocoee who's working 3 jobs to make a living. Like, I have some money. I could do something. Like, what should I do with this? What can I pivot into that I love, that I care about? Because my whole theme in life has been trying to figure out how to not work, so to say,
right,
in the sense of doing something I love, and finding a way to turn all my passions into a means of income to, survive off of that and not have to hate what I do. So, food always interested me. And this is at the time now that I've got some cooking experience under my belt. I've done some caterings at this point. I've cooked for a few artists at this point. I've done a few things, and people are like pushing me in the direction of like, the common denominator is like, yo, you got something with the food thing. Like, you should do something with that. So 2019, right before COVID hit, I bought the truck.
Okay.
Bought the truck, and then like a month later, COVID happened. So it completely went on ice.
Damn.
Completely went on ice. And the goal originally was I was going to open the truck here in Orlando. But this is where things really started taking off for me in LA with the other business. So I was fully immersed in LA for the next, 2-3 years, just heavily involved on that. And finally, I spent those in my free time in those 2 years. I was still cooking for friends, cooking for family, just like, developing the love of cooking more and more. I had a staff at the time that
Boss Max.
I had a staff at the time for the for the company that I would do little dinners for us. We'd have a lot of them were my friends, so we would all come over and do little family dinners at the house. And finally, it got to the point where I remember I was looking for. I was burnt out creatively with video. I had been shooting the same music video over and over again. I'm tired of having guns waved in my face and the same $1,000 thrown and fanned and doing the, the like just the rap shit got old.
Yeah.
Respectfully, I still have much love for it, and it shaped me as a person and shaped my journey. But I was just at a point creatively where it was like, yo, I want more. Like, I got into this to tell stories. I got into this to shoot films one day, to shoot shorts and make feature films and make documentaries and really tell a story. That's something that I think, thinking back to one of your previous questions, has always been a common theme and a common inspiration. Is I always loved writing as a kid. So stories, storytelling. I remember I used to write little books. I used to write little stories. So it only made sense that it translated into video and then eventually into food, because I want to tell a story through food and through
It's
the
amazing.
experience that you have when you come to Maxtros. So I was burnt out creatively, and I was looking for my exit from the cannabis industry because it was getting crazy. Like, it was getting super saturated. You know, people like me who care about quality and craft and who really wanted to
Right.
put out a good product kind of went to the wayside for corporate and money and greed. So that's not what I got into it for. That's not it no longer aligned with me. It no longer served, my goals and my purpose. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna go all in on this food thing and see what happens. Let's just see what happens. I was at the time I had a partner with my facility, and we things were getting really difficult for us during COVID. Just keeping up with the overhead of maintaining a facility of that size was crazy. And I remember having the truck sitting there during COVID, just waiting to do something with it. Whole time I'm developing recipes, playing with concepts. I went through 4 or 5 different things of what the truck was gonna be before I even settled on Maxtros. And Maxtros is such an accident, which is what I'm about to get to. Because you know, there was a point where it was going to be a pasta truck. There was a point where it was going to be, because I love pasta. There was a point where it was going to be, I was going to use my Chick-fil-A knowledge and make like chicken sandwiches or something. And like I said, at that time, money was good, life was good. I was living a reality that I never could have imagined as a kid. I don't come from money. I don't come from really much. So it was like, for me, this whole new perspective of like I saw behind the curtain. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? I'm like, wow, like this is life. Like, this is life without limits. This is life that the people I've been working for are living,
Right.
And it
Now it's
was
your turn.
it was this crazy like coming of age and like reality shift for me of like going from, you know, money looking like this and like something that I had to pull teeth for, to like something that like, oh wow, like it's coming to me, like I'm growing something, you know. And I remember, oh man, I lost my train of thought, my bad.
No, no, all good, brother. All good. Just to put it back on track for us. So, what we were coming to is the big catalysts,
Yes,
the
I was
big
right there.
catalysts.
I was right there. Give me
So
one
we
sec.
had the overhead, the
Yes,
the overhead. It was a lot to take care
it was a
of.
lot
You're
to take
looking
care
for
of.
your exit.
I was looking for my exit, and so like what I was about to get at was, when I would do those little family dinners and everything, it was steak and lobster, it was shrimp, it was a good time, and that's kind of what I started to lean towards for the truck. I wanted to do a steakhouse on wheels. I was like, I want to
Mm.
create, this like gourmet
Hey
experience.
chef, let me get a ribeye rare.
Yeah. Yeah, like imagine being able to go to a food truck and be like, yeah, I'm gonna get the A5 Wagyu. Like, that'd be sick. But then I realized that it was never gonna work because nobody knows who I am. I'm not a chef. That's some shit Gordon Ramsay could pull off. That's something that, a seasoned chef with, a following and a reputation could just go drop on the streets, and it's gonna go just because of their name. But I had to realize, I got the real wake up call when I priced out my first purchase order for my elaborate menu that I had written of, lobster, mac and cheese and A5 Wagyu skewers.
What did that bill look like?
And I'm looking at all the purveyors, and I have everything. Mind you, truck's barely even built out yet. Truck's still going through permitting, and I'm trying to get all the food to start testing the menu. And it was about to be like 10 grand just in ingredients. I'm talking about Japanese Wagyu. I'm talking about, sea urchin. I'm talking about lobster. I'm talking about fine ingredients. And I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, the spoilage on this, like, it's going to go bad. I'm like, I got to dumb it down. I'm like, I got to dumb down the concept. And at this point, while all this is happening, I'm pouring every last bit of money that I had while hemorrhaging money in the facility. I'm pouring every last bit into the build out of the truck. So those steak and lobster dinners that we were doing for the boys started becoming fewer and fewer, and we're having, hey, tonight we got chicken and rice and
some broccoli, some carrots, cauliflower.
Yeah. So I remember very vividly being down to I had $300, bro. I remember I had $300, and the truck's finally permitted. I went through all the hoops. We're ready to, like, I still don't have a concept. I'm still, like, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with it. I realized that the steakhouse thing wasn't going to work. Who's coming to a food truck and spending this type of money without guaranteed, like, hey, I know this is a reputable brand, It'd be different if, like I said, somebody else did
Gordon Ramsay,
If Gordon did it, you're going to go spend that 100 on that plate at that truck.
Right.
I had to realize, and we were in LA, so it was a little different. There's that bougie crowd that I'm like, it could work, but I just realized it was too expensive for me to even attempt.
Yeah.
And God forbid it didn't work. Now I got $10,000 worth of Wagyu. We eating good, boys, but now I just went all in, and now we got nothing.
Back to point, the square zero.
Right.
Yeah.
So I remember a very specific point that we were doing. I had got all the permits. It was the day I got all the permits for the truck, and that in itself was a whole nightmare. I had to go through so many different steps and failures to get it fully up to code for California, because New York and California are the strictest health departments in the country. Florida, anything goes, but California was crazy. And I remember I was like, yo, let's have everybody over for dinner and, celebrate that I got the permits, and I want to, like, cook on the truck for the first time. Mind you, I've had this truck for 3 years now, and I still haven't even cooked a single thing on it. Like, I never even verified if the grill worked at this point.
That's
like,
crazy.
I had no clue, like, what I was doing. I had no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't even know how to light the grill. I had to look it up at first. I'm like, where's the push button? And, no, this is a real grill, chef. You got to get up under there and light the pilot. And so I called everybody up. I'm like, yo, permits are in, dinner at the house tonight. I don't know what we're having, but I'm going to go to Restaurant Depot and figure it out. So I went to Restaurant Depot, mind you, $300. I'm like, what can I do to feed all these people? We're talking 15, 20 people. I'm like, how can I feed all these people on this budget? What am I going to make? So I'm roaming through the store. I start just doing what I always do when I look for inspiration for a new thing. I'll start with one ingredient. So I had to narrow it down to, I'm like, well, let's do something handheld, because it's going to be a bunch of people, and I'm going to be cooking on the truck for the first time. So I'm not going to do, like, plated dishes and all that like I usually do. So I started with a brioche bun. I found a brioche. I'm like, okay, we'll start with that. Now, what's our protein? Going through the store. What's the cheapest protein I can get the most of? Ground beef.
Easy.
Shit's $3 a pound. Perfect. Let's do it. I could get a few of those. Let's do it. So I'm like, I guess I'm making burgers. So I start to build a burger seasoning, version 1.0 of it. Start to pick out the stuff I want. Start to get stuff to make a sauce for it. I'm like, I'm just going to make a traditional California smash burger, In-N-Out style. I'm going to just do a little smash burger. Mind you, before this, like, a common misconception is that like I'm just like obsessed with burgers and like burgers are my passion for my whole life. Like I don't even really eat burgers like that. Like I don't even before this day, I could probably tell you 3 occasions in my life that I went out of my way to like I'm gonna make a burger.
Yeah.
You know, like it wasn't like this like I've been studying the anatomy of a burger my whole life,
Yeah,
and that's how we got here.
It's just literally like, man, I got $300 in my pocket. I got people to feed. You
What
know
can
what?
I do?
What can I do? I can make some burgers.
I
for
can make some
everybody.
burgers,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm gonna go with. So fast forward to the dinner. I get all the stuff. I get out of there with like $10 in change.
That's a win.
That's a win. Hey, we up.
That's a win.
We up. So I struggle my way through starting the truck up, getting everything going. Everybody's coming over. They're all like, yo, it's here. Like, that's what's up. Like, truck is still unwrapped, just brand new. And I started weighing out the beef, weighing out the patties, start just formulating what I'm gonna do, and I just started making burgers on the fly. I started pushing them out. It was so rudimentary and so like looking back now to like where we are now, it was so I'm using like not the right tools to smash the burger. I'm using like a plate from my kitchen and a oven mitt to smash the patty down on the grill. And the next thing I know, like I just started sending the burgers out, and everybody's kind of like lining up at the back of the truck, and I'm just handing them out. Mind you, I didn't even try one till like 20 or 30 in.
Damn.
I'm just making them and giving them out. I tasted the seasoning and I tasted the sauce, and I could do the math on what the rest was, the finished product was gonna taste like. But they just kept coming and grabbing them. My boys are just grabbing the burgers, grabbing them. Like, damn, this is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good. I like this. And so I seen people coming back for seconds, thirds. I'm like, yo, let me try one of these. Like, let me make one real quick. So I made one for myself. I tried it and I was like, damn,
This is the best burger I ever had in my life.
I was like, bro, I could sell this. Like this
Easy money.
This is something.
Yeah.
Like I like this burger. This is a good burger. And so literally the very next day, mind you, again, still haven't settled on a concept, still had no idea what to call it, what I'm doing, anything. And I had all this leftover beef from cooking for everybody. I was like, yo, I got the permit now. I'm legal to sell food.
I'm selling right now.
Let's go.
We on it right now.
Let's go pull up.
Open for business.
Literally.
Yeah.
I pulled up to the beach the next day. Sat there. I got there too late. I learned I got there too late in the day. People had already kind of done their sunset walk. But I remember, I'll never forget the first customer. I'll never forget. I still have the $50 bill he gave me. It's in my room. It's in like my little treasure box. This guy came up and he ended up buying 2 burgers. I remember my menu that day. I had single, double, water bottle. That was all I had. I didn't even know how to work the fryer yet. I'm like, we'll get there. You know, that's something for another day. I didn't even know how to work the fryer yet. I'm like, I got a single, I got a double.
What you want?
It's all drawn on a little whiteboard. I got a little chalkboard out front. Single, double, $8, $10. What you want? What you having? And the guy came up and he got like 3 burgers. And then he asked, he's like, yo, like my girlfriend, she's vegetarian. Like, is there anything like you could do for her? And I'm like, brother, I got singles, I got doubles. And then I'm looking, I'm like, wait, like she do dairy? I'm like, I can make a grilled cheese for her. Boom. Make her the grilled cheese. She loves it. She's like, wow, this is the best grill. I'm like, bread and cheese and aioli, but cool. Glad you love it. Yeah. Glad you love it. You stay right there. I run right out of the truck, write it on the menu. Grilled cheese, $5, added to the menu. Cool.
Easy.
Now it's in there. And I remember they like went on about their way, and then they came back a little bit later, and he was like, bro, I just wanted to say, like, that was like one of the best burgers I've ever had. And I was like, wow, like, thank you so much. Like, that means the world to me. It's literally my first day out here. I'm like, bro, like they're like, how long have you been doing this? I'm like, well, you guys aren't gonna believe this, but you guys are actually my
First
first
customers.
customer ever, like ever.
Yeah.
And literally I probably got 2 or 3 more orders that day, but everybody went out of their way to tell me how much they enjoyed it, and like how they wanted to have more. They were like, yo, like, where can I find you? I'm like, bro, I don't even got an Instagram yet. Like, y'all want my number? Like, like I don't even know what we're doing. Like, this is, I just literally did this on a whim just to try it out. And I think I made like $72 that day, but it was the most rewarding. Like, it was mine. I was like, wow, like this is money that came from something that came out of my brain and got
There's a
translated.
message there. There is a message there, and I believe we actually spoke about this on previous episodes as well.
Mhm.
There's a message in that. It's like there is obviously the chase for dollars because of the life that we live,
Right.
but that's not even the real chase. What we're really chasing after is that feeling of
That
satisfaction,
fulfillment.
that fulfillment, that
That
rewarding
fulfillment.
feeling. So even though you went through this whole entire illustrious journey and you only made $72 this day,
This
it
was
was the most satisfying day that you've had just yet.
Yeah, it was amazing to me, and that's why I always say, like, when I've talked with people, from guests to friends, like that ask about the story and everything, and it's like, well, so why did you go from this to this? Like, and it's like my simple answer is fulfillment. Like, I've done a lot of different things in my life to make a lot of different money, good money, bad money. Not all money is good money also,
Not all
but
money's good money.
not all money is good money. And I've been at the top, I've been at the bottom, I've been super up and super down. And at the end of the day, I've never been more fulfilled in my life than doing what I do now. And I think that is what is so important for people to follow, and follow, like, it's corny, cliche, whatever, follow your heart, follow your dreams, but like really, like, follow the fulfillment, like follow what makes you feel um purpose, and what makes you feel. I remember it clicked for me. I was like, it was a couple weeks into, fast forward from the beach day. Now I got fries.
Oh
Now I
yeah.
got
Oh
sodas.
yeah.
Now I got, now I'm
The menu's a little
the
bigger.
menu. Not I had messed up somebody's burger, and I put it off to the side of the grill, and I looked at it. I had some extra fries up that I was munching on. I'm like, yo, let me throw some cheese on there, chop that up, put that on the fries. Boom, smash fries. We got smash burgers, we got smash fries. Like,
Easy.
and boom, again, adding it to, I'm right outside, right into, oh, I could do this with tots. Oh, I could. And the menu just kind of like, it progressed. So
Let
now,
me ask you something,
yeah.
because I don't know the story of this,
hmm
right? But what ended up happening to that truck?
So about 3 months in, let's see, truck opened officially March of 2022 in Los Angeles. July, no, I'm sorry, December 2022. Damn, I might be having my dates mixed up. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Within 6 months of opening in LA, um, the truck caught on fire. Truck caught on fire, and it was like a complete loss. Not complete loss, but it had to be completely rebuilt.
Mhm.
Um, and mind you, like, now this is like after all the money's run out, my reserves are tapped. Like, I didn't have insurance deny my claim because my business is 6 months old. So
Wow.
insurance didn't help me. They thought it was like fraud.
Right.
They thought I was scamming. It was going to cost more to appeal that with a lawyer and do all that than it would to just fix it.
Yeah. Just eat it. Like fuck
So
it.
yeah, so the truck completely burned down due to a grease fire. Um, and it was, I'm not gonna get into the specifics of that, but because that was due to multiple variables. But
Just
that
eating
put
it.
everything at a standstill. That was definitely a moment that I was like, okay, like, now what? Like, I've put all my eggs in this basket. I've given up the comfortability of the money I was making. I took the pay cut to do the thing I love. you know, and now I have this thing that I love that's out of commission, and now I'm on my ass. Now I don't know what.
And that wasn't the only thing, right? Because then you
Yeah.
end up having like some extremely traumatic, like I don't even know
Yes.
if anyone else could have bounced back from type of medical situation.
Yes. So right before that, actually, it was like a double whammy because that happened in December. 2 months before that, 3 months before that, I had a freak accident on the truck. Freak accident while cleaning the truck. I was cleaning the deep fryer, and I actually, I can show this part. I severed a nerve and an artery in my arm right here. So my ulnar nerve, fun fact,
Severed the nerve.
the nerve and yes, nerve and grazed the artery. Didn't sever the artery, thank God, because I would have bled out in like 5 minutes.
Oh God.
But severed the nerve. This is my bad hand. This is my fun fact about me hand. This hand still I have no feeling from. I have no feeling from here all the way to about the middle of my arm and my pinky.
Oh my
None of
goodness.
that. None of
So
that
you
has.
can't feel it. So like if I just
Yeah.
like
If I dap you up, sometimes my hand gets stuck. Like,
really,
you know, like I literally can't. You can hold a lighter. You can literally hold a lighter to this finger, and I burn it on the grill all the time. Like if I
you don't even
push a button
realize it.
down, and I'm like, it's like, oh shit, like.
So okay, and not to go like into too nuance of a description, but
Mm-hmm.
how on earth did you sever your nerve and partially cut the artery? Because that's not, like sometimes like, oh, I like you're chopping
Yeah,
up the cilantro or something. Oh, I nicked my finger.
yeah.
What you literally could have. Thank God it didn't.
No, yeah.
You could have bled out, brother.
I didn't realize how serious it was until the surgeon told me. He was like, because in my head, my workaholic ass, I'm like, the EMTs are there. I'm like, can we like wrap this up? Like, I got service in a little bit. They're like, who gonna tell him? Like, brother, you're going to the hospital. Like,
Yeah.
this is not.
Wrap this up.
This is not just we're about to throw a Band-Aid on here, and I'm just so like I was so in the grind that I wasn't worried about it, and the adrenaline was crazy.
So like you weren't like, oh, the adrenaline. Okay, that
Yeah.
answers my question. I'm like, bro, like, I mean, I've had various injuries myself, whatever. I'm sure we all have, but to sever a nerve sounds like one of the most painful things that you could do to yourself.
It was bad, bro. It was honestly like it felt like, so the nerve that I severed is the ulnar nerve, which is your funny bone. So when you hit your funny bone and you get that like tingle down your arm,
Mhm.
the nerve responsible for that is your ulnar nerve, and it
Okay.
controls these two fingers right here. You got your median nerve that controls these three, and then your ulnar. I learned a lot about nerves through this whole
Clearly,
thing. I'm like I could be a damn neurologist at this
Yeah.
point. The amount of studying I did while I was in that hospital. So immediately when it happened, I thought I just hit my funny bone really bad. Like, so how it actually went down, because it was such a freak accident, I literally could not do it again if I tried. Like, all of the doctors, the 100 times I had to explain the story, they were just like, how did you manage to do this? Like, it doesn't look like a knife. It doesn't look like a typical like kitchen injury. I was deep cleaning the truck, and under the deep fryer is where the controls for it are at. And there's a door that swings open on the deep fryer. So the old deep fryer that I had at the time had a very sharp lip around the inside of the door. So it was like a unfinished, jagged metal edge
Mm.
that came to a point that didn't connect. So
Mm.
there's literally like two razor sharp teeth of metal
Yeah.
that come to a point at the corner of the door. And I was boiling out the fryer. I was having a really rough day and was going through a lot, trying to get ready on time. I'm scrambling for time for service. I was in a rush. I let the fryer accidentally boil over. So, mind you, I still have PTSD from the fire and this and that. Beforehand on the truck, we had a smaller fire before the actual burn.
Yeah.
So I'm immediately like, I got to cut this fryer off. And I wasn't thinking clearly. I was rushing. So I immediately just stuck my hand under the fryer to cut the gas off to it rather than going to the back and cutting the lines. I didn't want the water to get into the
Right.
electrical components or fry anything, start a fire, whatever. So not even thinking in the moment, I stick my hand under where boiling water is coming down, burn my hand. Out of reflex, I jerked my arm back outside of the door. As I'm
Slice.
pulling my arm back, the door swung shut and it just caught me right there. And it literally just like went straight to the bone. Like it was a razor blade essentially. So with a lot of force behind it, your reflex
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
when you like,
yeah.
it was a lot. It was every bit of force that I had. So it just
Slice.
clean cut.
So you had that. The food truck essentially burns down to it's in a sense.
I was in a cast when the truck burned down.
A few months later, and some kind. So you end up back here in Orlando. How did we get the truck here and actually get up and going again?
So as traumatic as those things were, I'm honestly extremely grateful for how everything went down, because I don't know if there would be a Maxtros Orlando yet. Like I said in the beginning, my goal is to always bring it back home eventually.
Right.
But I think there was also an element of pride that I worked so hard to get this here to LA and build it here that, I don't want to come back home with my tail between my legs. There was definitely, I can admit, there was a bit of pride and ego involved in not wanting to, and I was kind of fighting the universe on it, so to say, of like everything was pulling me back here. Everything was pulling me back home. The fire, I had to, come back home for a second round of surgeries. I already had an initial emergency surgery when everything happened. Then I had to come back for a second round of surgeries here at home. I ended up doing my physical therapy here. So I was spending more and more time here in Orlando than I had been in the past 7 years, because I was in LA for a total of 8 years.
Wow.
So for, my entire 20s, I've been in LA. Now I'm kind of forced into a position where I had to come back home, had to spend some more time over here. And through that, all my friends had always been asking me and, supporting along the way, hey, when are you going to bring it home? When are you going to, do something over here or whatever? So I was like, yo, let's do a pop-up. Let's do a pop-up here in Orlando. Since I got all this downtime, I'm a sicko when it comes to work. I love to work. So I'm like,
we love sickos.
I'm in a cast, like trying to run through Restaurant Depot, like figuring out like how to pull this pop-up off. And so we started the pop-up here. I grabbed a couple friends from here and we started doing the pop-ups here in Orlando to the point where like it got some traction. And long story short, through a lot of obstacles here in Orlando that I then faced, I had the decision when the truck, I spent basically all of 2023 rebuilding the truck out of pocket with little income, because again, insurance didn't help me out. I'm out of the other business now. I'm completely out of the cannabis industry. I'm pretty much completely.
So now you're back to
figuring it out.
Back to reality in a
back
sense.
to reality. Yeah,
yeah.
It was very sobering. Of like, we were just on top of the world. We was just on the boat drinking Henny a year ago. Like life was good.
Not the hen dog.
Yeah, no, we was off the yak for
not
sure.
the hen dog.
We was off the yak on the boat with them good people. We having a good time. We're from that to like, all right, now what? So it was back to square one again. And I remember after spending that year rebuilding not only the truck, but rebuilding my health, rebuilding my arm, like
rebuilding your life,
literally rebuilding everything. Like, because when that happened, like between the truck and the injury, like my whole life like ceased in the matter of all this momentum, all this energy I had, everything. For the first time in my life, like in a long time, I was forced to sit down. And there was a message in that I'll touch on, because it doesn't matter how much you work and how hard you go and this and that, if you're not alive to see it. So
wow. Say that again.
A lot of us spend so much time hustling and grinding.
Do this for me. Talk to them. Say that again and talk to them. Yeah.
So a lot of us spend so much of our time hustling and grinding and on this rat race, and I got to do this, I got to do that, blah, 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 going through day by day. And that was me. Like, that still is me. You know, I've learned my lesson, but
Right.
this was I feel the universe's way of, for the first time, kind of slowing me down and showing me, hey, all this stuff you're building and all this stuff you're working towards, none of this shit matters if you're dead. None of this shit matters if you don't protect yourself and keep yourself alive and be here to carry out your mission. You know, if it doesn't matter how hard you work, all your gravestone's gonna say is, yeah, you worked really hard
Now he's gone.
and now he's dead.
Right.
So
There's message.
there's a message there for sure that
Yeah.
I had to find, because, you know, in the moment, it's my life is over. It's, you know, at the time, like when it first happened, like I didn't know. It's a miracle that I've gotten as much use back out of my hand as I have. But at the time, like they're like, bro, you might be left-handed now. Like realistically, like they're like, yeah, you're right-handed, and
That's tough.
I'm like, dog, like I make my money with my hands. Like, pause. Like that's really like I like I need my hands as a cook, as a business owner. Like, you know, I need to be able to chop. I need to be able to feel ingredients, touch, and it's a very important part of what I do every day. So, you know, I really think that like the big lesson that I got out of all of that is, you know, slow down, take a step back.
Mm.
None of this matters without your health. You know, none of this matters without, you know, you being here to reap the benefits and to see it through. You know, you got to see it through, my boy.
For sure.
So it's like I don't want to um and I've always been someone who worked at a crazy rate. Just, I don't know if I'm running from something or
Running to something.
running to something, or what it really is, or if it's a byproduct of, you know, my environment or my upbringing. But I've always just been a go person, and this was kind of the first time that I physically could not just go, and I had to take a step back and kind of evaluate my life and everything, and be grateful for, you know, the fact that I was still there, you know, because like I said, the surgeon, I didn't realize how serious it was until the guy told me. He's like, yeah, you know how big 3 centimeters is? He's like, it's really small. He's like, if you had gone 3 centimeters deeper with this blade, he's like, you would have severed the artery. He's like, you're lucky you severed the nerve because it stopped it from severing the artery.
Jeez.
And had you severed the artery, he's like, you would have bled out in 5 to 7 minutes.
There's purpose.
So everything
There's a purpose.
everything happens for a reason, and that reason ended up, now we got Maxtros Orlando, because it forced me home, and I don't think we would be here really with the truck how it is now had I not gone through all of those phases. And they at the time felt like such an inconvenience and such a like, oh, I'm right on the verge of killing it. You know, I'm here in LA. I've worked so hard. I've done this. I've done that. We were just about to get. It was just about to get good. You know.
But your mission
But
was back at home.
I needed to be here. I just didn't know it at the time. And
It's evident. It's funny because and not to say that, you know, I wasn't there, so I can't say whether they did or didn't. But would you say that maybe in a way, even though you got your footing in LA, do you feel the appreciation and even the adoration that the people of Orlando have for you?
Absolutely not. LA is very, very self-centered.
Yeah.
And granted, like, bro, it's crazy. It warms my heart. Like, I still get messages from time to time of like, yo, when you coming back to such and such bar in LA? Like, and I'm like, bro, it's gonna be a minute. Like, you know, like eventually, you know, maybe.
So let me ask you this then.
It's the best thing I've ever done is come back.
The comeback kid.
Come back here. Who'd have thought? Like,
So you have the 2 trucks.
mm-hmm.
What are we to look forward to next? Is there? I know the second truck is fairly newer.
Yep.
But is there a third truck? Is there a brick and mortar? Are there larger culinary events on the horizon? I mean, and I don't want to say necessarily like what's the next step for Maxtros, because I know the second truck is fairly newer.
Yeah.
Right. But what do we look forward to next from you,
Chef? Next, for my next trick,
for your next trick?
I think it's time to like kind of branch out a little bit and something that I'm really passionate about for this year, and that I really want to uh, bring into the light more is like, hey, we can do more than burgers. Like brick and mortar on the way, hopefully.
Say it again. Say it again.
Brick and mortar on the way. Y'all been asking me about it,
Yes, we have.
and I'm happy to say that I have a little bit more of an idea of what that might look like coming together. So,
That's what's up.
at the time of this filming, I hope to have something open maybe Q1
Oh,
2027.
oh.
2027, not
Okay, you
26.
almost got me, brother. I said,
No, no,
oh
no.
man.
Maybe, hey, and optimistically, best case scenario,
Yeah.
God willing, I hope everything works out. I'm probably insane for this, but I'm shooting for fall of next year, of
I
2026
think
to potentially be
you
opening the brick
you
and
are
mortar.
the perfect example of anything can happen.
Yeah, chef. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So if that's what you want, I think
We can make it happen. One
what do
thing
you
about
need?
me,
Go ahead.
we
Go
gonna
ahead.
make it happen. It might not be pretty at first. It might take a while. It might be difficult, but
Might slice a nerve.
what we're gonna make it happen though. We're still gonna get it done. I'm gonna be at Restaurant Depot in that cast, still cooking, still fresh out the hospital.
What can the greater Orlando community do to support you in your mission? Because it is more like you mentioned, it is more than just late night eats. It is
Yeah,
more than just quote drunken fun.
right.
You're nourishing souls, you're nourishing hearts and beings, right? So what can we as a community of people around you do to support you in your mission?
I'm really glad you asked that question because something else that I'm working on, this also ties in with your previous question of what to look forward to from Maxtros. This is something that I've never really had like the platform to explain, and I've explained it to a lot of guests that have come by and asked me the story and where I want to go and where I want to take it from here.
Mhm.
Um, Something that's very near and dear to my heart that I want to introduce this year um, is a concept called Community Feast. So Community Feast will essentially be a not-for-profit organization established by Maxtros in partnership with Maxtros to give back to the community, not only just with food, but with hygiene kits,
Mm.
resources, clothing, literature, education, materials,
Wow.
haircuts, whatever people need, things that people need. Um, and so my concept for Community Feast is essentially um, a portion of all of our proceeds at the truck from every. I'm gonna figure out the amount and everything. I got to do the math but anywhere from 25, 50, 75 cents, maybe even $1 on some of our more expensive dishes. Um, all of that will go into a pot where at the end of each month, we'll gather that pot up and partner with a local food bank or homeless shelter
Mm.
or, go to a community center or a heavily concentrated area of low income families, children,
Absolutely.
etc. Um, and set up and just give out as much food as we can.
How
And
can the folks that would like to join in this mission with you, how could they get in contact with you? How could they reach out to you?
so my email is always open. I know there's people we've talked with already at various, churches and organizations. So any churches or food banks or people with connections to those type of places, community centers, I highly encourage them to reach out to the email. It's maxtros.fl@gmail.com. It's just like the Instagram. So I'm sure that'll be somewhere in here. So maxtros.fl@gmail.com. I don't know if we can put that in here somewhere.
Shout out to Flowers Last a Lifetime production company. They can make anything happen.
Yes,
Ty and
chef.
Christy.
I know that's right.
The beauty of this platform, man, and this is kind of where my thinking was when I created it. Um, it's awesome because that initiative that you have. So the person, the previous interview to you was Adam, and
Mhm.
Adam is the current president of NFLPA here in Orlando, same age as us, and he holds community events and things like that as well,
Mhm.
which we talked about in the previous episode. And I think that would be an awesome person for you to actually connect with.
Yeah, I would love
I would
to.
definitely like to, if possible, maybe get you guys on a call or something.
Yeah.
You guys can fit because I think it's all in alignment.
Yeah,
Like we mentioned,
exactly.
right? There's somebody within five
That
people. I think
sphere
you
of
mentioned
influence.
absolutely. So I definitely whatever I can do to support, I want to support.
No, that
Um,
would be great.
I think from here, I think what we'll do is let's give you your flowers. Once
Thank you,
again,
chef.
man, I really, really appreciate you for giving me an opportunity to have you here on the
No,
platform.
thank you for having me, man. I've
Yeah,
never done anything like this, so it's cool getting to tell some of the story and like in a in this format because it's usually just like
chats at the
bits and
truck.
pieces at
Yeah,
the truck of
yeah,
somebody asking me, "Oh, well, how did you start this?" And I'm like, "How much time you got?" Because that's a very loaded question. I've got
yeah.
like versions of the story. I've got the 30-second, I've got like a
But
3 hour
you know,
and everything in between.
that's how we even got you here in the first place. Because maybe what, a year and a half ago at
Mm-hmm.
the truck, just chatting with you about,
Yep.
oh, I got an idea about this or
Yep.
that. Fast forward a year and a half, we
And look
make
at
it
the
happen,
idea
and
now.
you know,
Look at you go. I'm really proud to see all of this come together. This is
yeah, man,
this
this
is
is honestly each time that we do this, it's still kind of crazy to me, and it doesn't feel quite like real or legit until I
hmm
watch the video back once they're done editing it,
yeah.
and I watch it 50 times over, and I'm like,
Right.
there's no way
Looking
that's
for
real.
any
Yeah, well,
no,
yeah,
you're
the
like, wow, we're
perfectionist in
really
me is over analyzing it,
Yup,
but I'm
yup.
trying my best to just really exist in the moment and be grateful for it.
No,
Um,
that's what it's all about. That's what we got to do, and you know, I think that's what, if I could sum up one lesson that I'm really learning lately in life and this year especially is replacing. I'm gonna hit you with one. This is one that I've been dwelling on a
Prepare
lot lately.
yourselves. Prepare yourselves.
I don't know if it's that profound, but
Has to be. It's coming from you.
replace replacing the words have to with get to
Hmm.
in my life day to day. Because very often we go through our life day to day, and how many times a day? I'm gonna challenge
Like to
you.
get
I'm gonna
to.
challenge you to something.
Okay. I welcome the
Next time you
challenge.
say, start to be cognizant, even if it's just a count of how many times a day or a week you say, I have to do this or I have to do that. Because we go through our day to day and we're like annoyed at it. It's like, oh, like I have to do this, I have to do that. Oh my God, I have to go over here. Oh, I have to go spend time with my family later. Oh, I have to go to Christmas dinner. I have to, I have to go to work. I have to. No, brother, you get to do that.
Hmm.
You get to go to work. You get to see your family. You get to have a day. I get to get up and run my business every day. That's a blessing. All of these things that are things that we've asked for, things that we want, whether we subconsciously want it or we are asking the universe for it, we it's that whole thing of like, how can I complain about a full plate when my goal is to eat, right? So
Facts.
it's like
He's spitting.
I I
He's
get to
spitting.
I get to wake up every day. I'm broke as shit right now, dog. Like I've like told you, I've seen a lot of fluctuation in my life, and I'm right now less financially stable than I've been my whole life, even when I was in my younger 20s, which is, to some, might be like, oh, that's embarrassing to say, like whatever, but
It's
like
just real.
it's just real. Like, for those who think I got it like that, like, bro, I promise you I don't. I'm gonna get there. There will be signs. You will know when I do. But like, it's still such a blessing every step of the way because I get to do this. I get to go make food for people every day and them enjoy it and get to feed people and spread the amount of like community that I've seen build and happen just through the food truck
Right.
is incredible to me. Like the amount of connections I've seen happen just amongst peers, or so and so meets so and so at the truck, and like I see the truck as a hub in the community for people to be able to connect and
100%.
learn something new, meet someone new.
So give us this in closing. one, give us your socials and how to contact you,
Yep.
and then also let us know where you're typically going to be posted up at for those that haven't had the pleasure of experiencing not just your food but you as an individual, right? Because it's like it's the food is one thing, you're a whole different thing.
It's got to be an experience.
Where
I tell people all the time, we don't sell food, we sell an experience.
Where can people go to buy this experience?
So they can come get the experience at 1300 North Mills Avenue in front of Alfie's Hi-Fi. We are there 5 days a week, Wednesday through Sunday, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. during the week, and then like 3, 4 a.m. on the weekends. Don't go pulling up at 4 talking about let me get a burger. We are closing. I'm trying to get my people home.
Respect that man's business.
Because we used to do that. We used to be open till like 5.
I'm not gonna lie. I've definitely had before you guys moved to the mill spot when you were back by the lake.
Nah, you could pull up and catch a burger at like 5:30.
Hey, I've done it. I've done it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, listen. Once again, guys, this was another episode of Cozy Couch Conversations. We had the illustrious King Maxtros today.
King Zaven, appreciate you for having me.
No,
man.
I appreciate you for being here.
And I'm gonna see you at the truck.
Yeah. Yes. Actually, maybe tonight. No.
Yeah.
No, I gotta work in the morning. Maybe tomorrow night. Actually,
I'm gonna have the chicken and the brisket
and the
smoked brisket.
The brisket,
smoked Wagyu brisket coming to the menu.
Real quick.
He said, "Hold on,"
because the people they're not. You guys aren't gonna actually see this episode for a few more weeks. I'm being transparent. Yeah. But what can they expect on the menu?
So right now for the winter menu, new things coming to the menu. We've got smoked chicken, which is it's got a crazy laundry list of flavors.
I saw your Instagram the other day.
Yeah, that post it's got a lot of love going in that chicken. So the smoked chicken, and then I'm also doing a 15-hour smoked Wagyu brisket.
15-hour smoked what?
Wagyu brisket. So both of those are going to be available in different variations. So the chicken you'll be able to kind of just like plays on our classics, the smash fries, the smash tots. You'll be able to do the chicken on there. You'll be able to do a chicken chopped cheese. You'll be able to add it as a protein to the mac. Same thing with the brisket smash fry.
I'm gonna go ahead and get my blanket and go to sleep.
Yeah. You're gonna need that. It's gonna be a good time. I'm really excited for the brisket and to be bringing some new things to the menu for the new year. So
awesome, brother.
Well,
again, man, I really, really appreciate you guys. This is another episode of Cozy Couch Conversations.
Yes, sir.
King Maxtros signing off.
Oh shit! We didn't even mean to do that.
Peace.
We didn't rehearse that. I promise. That was not planned. That
alignment. We just call it.
We
alignment.
We just align.
That's all it is.
Yes, chef.
Yeah, that was amazing.